Hello and welcome back to another exciting episode of School Life Unpacked with me, your host Natasha Curtis-Ego. Today, let's begin with a thought from Plutarch. The mind is not a vessel to be filled, but a fire to be ignited. That, to me, perfectly frames what this episode is about, highlighting the life lessons our children learn in school that go far beyond the printed textbook. When we think of school, our mind usually jumps to academics, maths, English, science, exams, and grades. But if you think back to your own school years, the lessons that stayed with you probably weren't all from a textbook. They were lessons in resilience, in friendship, in finding your place in the world. And that's what I'd like to explore with you today, the hidden curriculum of school. The things our children are learning every day without even realizing it, and often without us noticing either. So in this episode, we'll unpack 3 of those big lessons. Resilience, learning how to face setbacks and bounce backs. Relationships, building friendships, navigating conflict, and discovering the importance of connection. Learning beyond results, realizing that education is about more than just marks on a test. Along the way, I'll share some reflections of my own parenting journey, as well as insights from experts in child development and education. And together we'll think about how we as parents can gently support our children in those areas. So grab a coffee, settle in, and let's dive in. Let's start with resilience. Resilience is one of those words we hear a lot, but what does it really mean? The Oxford Dictionary gives us 2 definitions: the capacity to withstand or recover quickly from difficulties and toughness, the ability of a substance or object to spring back into shape, elasticity. I like both of these because they remind us that resilience isn't just about grit or pushing through, it's about bending without breaking and finding ways to bounce back. Now, why is school such a powerful teacher of resilience? Well, it's because school is full of those moments where things don't go as planned. Think about it. A child studies hard for a test and doesn't get the results they hoped for. They try out for the football team and don't make it. They argue with their best friend and suddenly feel left out. Or they just have a really bad day. And at 8 years old, a bad day can feel like the end of the world. These moments are hard. As parents, it can be so painful to watch. We'd love to sweep in and fix things for them. But here's the important truth. It is often in those struggles that resilience is quietly being built. Psychologists call this concept stress inoculation. Just like a vaccine gives your body a small dose of something so that you can build immunity, small doses of struggle give your child the chance to build coping strategies. If they never face difficulty, they never learn how to handle it. And here is the good news. Resilience isn't fixed. It isn't something that your child either has or doesn't have. It is a skill that can be strengthened, just like a muscle. So how do we as parents help? I guess we could do a few things. Maybe resist the urge to rescue immediately when your child is upset about a disappointment. Take a breath. Instead of rushing in with the solution, ask gentle questions. How do you feel about that? What do you think you could try next? We could normalize our setbacks. Share stories of when things didn't go quite right for us and how we overcame them. Let them see that mistakes are part of learning, not the end of it. And lastly, we can celebrate the effort, not just the outcome. When a child studies really hard but still struggles, recognize the perseverance. That recognition reinforces the process, not just the result. If you take a moment with me right now and think back to a time when your child has faced something really, really tough, how did you handle it? And how did you respond? Did you step in to fix it, or did you walk beside them? How might you support them differently next time? For me as a parent, I'm always tempted to sweep in and fix things, to take away the hurt or the upset, even though I know better. I know my job is to give her the tools to understand and work through things. This I find so hard because I want to be the fixer. I don't want my child to be upset or distressed. But in the moments where I take a breath and I step back and we talk through things and we work it out together, I realize that she is able to understand the problem for herself and often knows the solution. In these moments, I realize that's my job. That is what I'm meant to be doing every time. because I won't always be around there to fix things. She needs to be able to bounce back, to have that resilience, to have that elasticity, to bend without breaking. The second lesson children learn in school is the importance of relationships. Humans are deeply social beings. From birth, we are wired to seek connection. And at school, children suddenly step into a much bigger social world. It is no longer just family. Now we're navigating friendships, authority figures, group projects, and playground politics. When you think back to your own school days, what stands out? Probably not the finer details of your maths lesson or the history dates that you were meant to revise or know off by heart now, or how many wives Henry VIII married and who was beheaded, divorced, and died. It's the people. The teacher who encouraged you when you doubted yourself, the friend who stuck by you when things got tough, maybe even the classmate who challenged you and taught you something about empathy or forgiveness. For children, relationships are central to how they experience school. Friendships give them a sense of belonging. Teachers who believe in them give them the confidence. Even conflicts, while painful, teach them essential skills: how to compromise, how to listen, how to apologize. And relationships aren't always easy. Social dynamics can be messy. There are cliques, fallouts, jealousy, misunderstandings, but this is where the real learning happens. A child who navigates these challenges is learning skills that will matter for the rest of their life. Skills in communication, empathy, and resilience. I've noticed this in my own daughter. When she first started school, I was worried because I didn't know she was going to be able to make friends easily and keep them. I'd ask her every day, "How did your day go? Who did you play with? What did you play? Did you get along?" At first, her answers were simple, but as she has grown, her stories have become more complex. Who said what, why a game broke down, how she felt about it, and without realizing it, we were having daily conversations about emotional intelligence. We talk about why someone may have reacted in a certain way, or what she could try if the same situation happened again. I thought I was just keeping up with the playground gossip, but I was actually helping her learn the foundations of empathy, perspective taking, and problem solving in relationships. As parents, we need to support this lesson. We need to maybe ask questions about the relationship, not the results. When we check in with our children at the end of the day, we might ask questions like, "Who made you laugh today?" Or "How did you and your friends work as a team?" We can model healthy relationships. Children learn by watching. The way we handle disagreements with our partner or how we speak about our friends and colleagues sets the tone. We can try really hard to coach, not control. When your child tells you about a friendship problem, resist the urge to call a teacher or another parent immediately. Instead, we can help our children brainstorm possible ways to handle it. If we think about our children right now, in this moment, who are their friends and how they're doing? What are the ways we can support them in building stronger, healthier connections without stepping in to manage them? The third lesson is that real learning often happens beyond marks or results. Schools are structured around assessments. Reports, tests, standardized exams, they are all visible measures of progress, and they matter, of course. But if we only look at numbers, we miss so much of what is really going on. A child's most meaningful learning moments often happen outside grades. The creativity they discover when drawing or writing a story, the teamwork they practice on the football field, the courage it takes to stand on a stage for a school play, even if they're nervous. The problem-solving skills they sharpen in a group project when things don't go well. And sometimes the greatest growth comes from failures. The science experiment that flops, the spelling test that didn't go well, the art project that doesn't turn out the way we hoped. These are powerful lessons in experimentation, iteration, and resilience. Psychologists talk about the difference between a fixed mindset and a growth mindset. A fixed mindset says to itself, "I'm either good at this or I'm not." A growth mindset says, "I can get better with effort." When we as parents focus only on results, we unintentionally reinforce a fixed mindset. But when we celebrate curiosity, creativity, perseverance, and collaboration, we nurture that growth mindset. And that's what carries our children forward in life. So how can we encourage learning beyond results? We can praise effort and strategies. Instead of saying, "You're smart, I noticed you kept trying different ways to solve that problem. Well done you." Value diverse strengths. Not every child shines in maths or science. Some shine in art, music, sport, or leadership. Recognizing those strengths tells them that they are more than just a test score. Encourage curiosity. If your child asks a question, explore it with them. Sometimes the best learning happens in those unplanned moments. Think about a recent moment when your child was proud of something that wasn't about grades. How did you respond? And how could you build more of these moments into your family life? The 3 biggest lessons children learn in school: resilience, the power of relationships, and learning beyond results don't come from a textbook. They come from lived experience, from scraped knees and playground fallouts, from failed projects and second attempts, from laughter with friends and encouragement from teachers. And these lessons don't just prepare your children for exams, they prepare them for life, for the world of work, of relationships and adulthood, for setbacks and comebacks, for finding joy and meaning in the journey. As parents, we play such an important role in nurturing these lessons. By resisting the urge to fix everything, by listening deeply, by valuing efforts and connection, by showing our children that what matters most isn't the number on a page, but the kind of person they are becoming. I would love to hear from you. What lessons have you seen your children learn at school that go beyond the classroom? Please share your stories with me on Instagram or TikTok, or send me an email. Thank you so much for joining me today on School Life Unpacked. Don't forget to turn on your notifications, subscribe, and follow to stay updated on future episodes. We look forward to seeing you next week.